It's October 1st, 2022. Witold and I are in Remsen, New York. We're going to be videoing the North American Railcar Owners Association. A few segments at least of their run today from Remsen to Tupper Lake. The first few miles will be on the Mohawk, Adirondack, and Northern, and then they'll switch over to Adirondack Railroad home rails for the trip up to Tupper Lake. It'll be just under 90 miles for these speeders to go from Remsen to Tupper Lake. Speeders were once used by North American railroads as maintenance of way vehicles, but their use pretty much stopped 25 to 30 years ago and are replaced today by pickup trucks known as high rails. So these are vintage pieces of railroad operating equipment. As mentioned, the first few miles of the excursion today will be on the Mohawk, Adirondack, and Northern, and they'll be escorted by this high rail truck to Snow Junction, 2 miles north of here, at which point they'll head over to the Adirondack. They'll be on Adirondack Railroad home rails. Looks like NARCOA has its own high rail. NARCOA, of course, for North American Railcar Owners Association.
Sir, say thank you for what you did. I appreciate it. Kind of fun, so I gotta go park some trailers on the
Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm with Aaron this morning, and Aaron's got this rail car here. He's going to be taking the trip up to Tupper Lake. Aaron, just wanted to ask you a few questions for my YouTube channel. Can you tell me where you're from?
All the way from Chester, New Hampshire.
And you're a member of this NARCOA group, of course.
Correct, yep.
And can you tell my viewers exactly what NARCOA is?
It's a group established for us hobbyists, and the group has different event coordinators and different affiliates. to set up rides, such as this one.
How long have you been a member of the group?
This will be my second year.
And tell us a little bit about your rail car.
This one is a 1979 Fairmont MT-14.
And how long have you owned it?
2 years.
And I've been on these excursions before. They're a lot of fun.
Oh, it's been on several. I just came back from Virginia 2 weeks ago.
So you're going to have a great trip going up to Tupper. I understand you're going to stop in Big Moose for lunch.
I believe so, correct, yeah.
And are you overnighting in Tupper or are you coming right back?
Overnight in Tupper Lake and then coming back Sunday.
So, well, any other things you think might be of interest to folks about rail cars in general? I mean, how do you find them?
Well, it can be difficult to find them. And when they do show up with a decent price range, you better be ready to strike the iron.
How much do these cars generally go for in good condition?
NARCOA compliant, you're looking at almost $5,000.
What's the oldest car you think that might be in the group today?
There is a Main Central putt-putt back there. That one might be in the 40s, 1945 or so, something like that.
And of course, these were used by the railroads before they put pickups on rails.
Correct, just like that.
Like that, which is what railroads use today.
Yeah, those high rails replace the maintenance away cars.
Right. So, and you're with your wife today?
My wife Jessica and our 2 children.
Hey Jessica.
Hi,
Allison and Alex, they're sitting over there at the table.
So it's a family thing today.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So this is a rail car which might have given rise to the name PuttPutt. And Aaron was telling me a little bit about it. Could you tell a little bit more?
Well, these are two-stroke engines versus that one's a 4-stroke. But these 2-strokes, you're constantly mixing fuel, timing, and as we climb up an elevation up the Tupper Lake, he's going to be always changing fuel mixtures and timing and throttle and everything to climb up it.
And you said these could be a bit temperamental.
Especially when cold. Once it's warmed up, they'll start and run no problem.
And while we were off camera, you were mentioning that you can see a lot of things on the rail lines that you don't see anywhere else.
Yeah, there's nothing else you can see in the great country unless you're on the Iron Compass. You know, you can't see stuff from the highway that you can see from the rail.
Right. And you're going to have a great trip today going up to Tupper. The line, as you probably know, was just recently reopened.
Redone, yep.
So.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's been 4 years since Nerex has been on this ride, so this is quite a treat. My first time on the line as well.
Very good.
Yeah, once he warms up, that'll be good to go. But those are temperamental.
New Hampshire is the owner of this putt-putt car, and I guess it's about from 1963. And Aaron tells me you might have an interesting story about how you acquired this.
It's a birthday present for my wife. All a big surprise. Didn't know it was coming.
That's it.
Everybody else knew it was coming though.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a pretty terrific present.
Yeah, absolutely.
So. And will this be your first run, or have you used it before?
We've used it, but this will be the first excursion, first long trip with it.
You're gonna have a great time. It's a terrific ride up to Tupper.
Thanks.
It's getting close to 8 a.m. and I've been informed that before any excursion on NARCOA, there will be a detailed safety meeting. That's what's going on right now. So after that concludes, they'll head north and we'll get them going through Remsen and hopefully in a couple other locations farther north. It's a very chilly morning, 43 degrees right now. Have fun, guys! This is an especially interesting looking rail car. Portable porta potty. Quite a parade. I'm sure they're going to have a blast, even if it's a little chilly. And Witold was duly impressed as usual. So I'm about a mile south of Big Moose passenger station in Big Moose, New York. And this is a pretty famous rock cut. There are a few more within a couple of miles south of this location. And we expect to catch the speeders heading through here. And also a little bit before then, catch the Adirondack Railroad's Thendara-Beaver River run heading through this point as well. Now the rock cut, besides being somewhat well known in railroading circles, also bears an unusual feature known as the bear's head. Now on the way in this morning, I saw plenty of bear poop on the tracks, and I hope after I show you what's called the bear's head that'll be the extent of what I see regarding bears. Anyhow, that rock is known as the bear's head. Now as we keep walking along the rock cut, we'll come to a mile marker. It states H68. Herkimer used to be the southern terminus of this line many decades ago, and the mile markers still read H for Herkimer, even though trains these days come up through Utica for the first 23 miles on the Mohawk, Adirondack Northern, and then 2 miles past Remsen, where we saw the rail cars leaving this morning, Adirondack Railroad's home rails are reached. A lot of the old marble or concrete mileposts are still in place. The one for H68 is long since gone and was replaced by this wooden milepost for H68. Of course, Witold is taking all this in as well. He's very intelligent and has been an excellent rail dog. He loves grass. Unfortunately, grass doesn't love him because he just threw up a couple minutes ago. He threw up some grass. Here's a northbound look at the bearhead. Well, next clip for sure will have some railroad action, but I've taken for the last couple years listening to old time radio, and there's a show I'm going to listen to called Wolf Hunt, and I thought the beginning of this would be fairly interesting to hear just for a few seconds.
You are alone in the dark forest, and behind you somewhere is the werewolf waiting to drink your blood. And you desperately desire the impossible, to escape.
Well, let's hope Vee-told doesn't turn into a werewolf.
Produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and carefully plotted to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Well, vee-told, that was pretty impressive, wasn't it? Next up, the Railcars, also known as speeders, also known as putt-putts. And they are speeding right along. Here's the one owned by John from New Hampshire, known as a putt-putt, a gift from his wife. Here comes the most interesting one to me. Here goes the portable porta potty. Here comes the Santa Fe. That one had the logo of the Western Pacific. And they're coming fast and furious. And bringing up the rear, another high rail. Well, vee-told, that was something we don't see quite every day, do we? Just every once in a blue moon. Let us know where you're watching from. vee-told's always very interested in learning where our viewership is. Thanks again.